we're going to debut a new segment, very exciting, called Love It or Lav It. This is your idea. Do you mind just giving a brief description of what we're anticipating with this sort of segment, Rex?
I think I got the idea. We were doing golf today in December, and Eamon Lynch introduced us. I forget what he always comes up with something clever, but he referred to you as a curmudgeon. And I got to thinking you can be a little on the curmudgeon side. You're much older than your years allow you to be. So the idea here is love it. That one's pretty easy. Or lav it. That's absolutely something that you do not like. Lav is not something you want to be associated with. So it's a very, very easy game here. We're going to throw out topics, and you're either going to love it, you're gonna laugh it.
I've been confused. I've been portrayed as being a hater. I've been portrayed as being a pessimist. No, I'm just realistic, and I give the people what they want to hear. First topic: Riviera, as we mentioned, Riviera and the Genesis Invitational officially relocating to Torrey Pines, which just hosted the Farmers Insurance Open. Rex, do you love it or do you lav it?
I love it. And look, they had a bunch of different options. I think PGA West was in the mix. They talked about it a lot the week I was at American Express. They were talking about going to Las Vegas, maybe playing Shadow Creek. TPC Scottsdale was also in the mix. But I think Torrey Pines always made the most sense for a couple of reasons. My guess is Tiger Woods, the host of the Genesis, probably tipped the scales. Because on this front, he probably wanted a course with a pedigree. And as we just mentioned, that's the South course. And he could have taken it anywhere else and made this work, but you're taking it to a course that has a pedigree. It's had major championships there. And if you're in Los Angeles, which has been devastated, and I do want to footnote, the one thing that I want to see out of this more so than going to Torrey Pines or actually playing the event or whatever the case may be, I want to see the tour do what it does best. And that's help out the communities that have always been there for the tour. I talked to an official at the American Express about this. And I think what they're going to do is going to be very, very special for the community. And going to Torrey Pines makes sense.
I mean, I certainly get all that, and this is going to sound bad after just had that
Oh,
sort of pulling on
I
the
set you
heartstrings
up.
moment. I understand the logistics. I understand the infrastructure. I certainly understand the Tiger appeal. For God's sakes, he's an 8-time winner at Torrey Pines, including the 2008 U.S. Open. I still lav it. I would have voted to have this at PGA West. That was a golf tournament at the American Express that no one really watched. You can make the golf course so much harder without the pro-am component. When you have just 80 of the best players on the PGA Tour, you still have the infrastructure in place from having the tournament just a couple of weeks earlier. The main issue I have with Torrey Pines is like, what's going to be different this time around? It's still going to be really hard. Eight under won this golf tournament. There was 24 players who finished in red figures for the 72-hole event. Like, there's only so much more you can do to Torrey Pines to make it even more of a championship test. It could feel, I worry, a little bit redundant. Second topic: the Live opener in Saudi Arabia is going to be played under the lights. Do you love it or do you lav it?
I love it. It feels kind of gimmicky. And look, that tour is trying to find some sort of inroads, and it has a new, the contract with a media partner at Fox this year. And so you're trying to do something special. I understand the idea of wanting to play it as close to prime time as possible in the United States. But we've talked about this before. You saw what happened at the Olympics last year. And the idea was you're not going to show anything on tape delay anymore. If you wanted to watch badminton at 3:00 in the morning, you could go on Peacock and watch badminton. I think that's what people want. That is the normal norm. I mean, that's the new norm for people who want to digest, who want to consume their content when they want to consume their content. In this particular case, you're playing it at night, which I never find very compelling to begin with, and you're just doing it to try to get in a window. Don't do it. Just play it in the middle of the night, and if people want to watch it, they'll watch it.
I love it. We're not going to be in the prime time on the East, but it is going to begin around 10 a.m. Eastern time for us who live on the East Coast. We do see some issues, like we saw the showdown, remember, in Las Vegas with playing under the lights. Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau were both playing in that, and they really struggled. Like, depth perception's way off. Green reading is really challenging. I think this is a way for Liv to sort of lean into the entertainment aspect of its circuit, get away from the competitive thing. I think that still struggles to resonate with golf fans, that this is, still largely the same year over year. The team thing might be a little bit gimmicky for some. Like, lean into the entertainment aspect. You got 14 of events. Not all of them are going to be absolute bangers. I like it. Do it under the lights. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more of it, particularly for these international events.
This is working out well. Keep going.
It really is. This is my new favorite segment of all time. Topic number 3, Rex. Netflix dropped its teaser for season 3 of Full Swing. A lot of heavy hitters in it. who are you most interested in seeing of the list? Do you love it or love it?
I'm going to lab that as well. And I love the first season of Full Swing. And to be honest with you, it was the second season that really tore me because look, you had exclusive, like once in a lifetime access to a lot of players during a time in the game that's never been rivaled. There was so much contentiousness with the game being torn apart because of what was going on between the PGA Tour and Live Golf. And I came away feeling empty. And we've talked about this before. I understand those series probably aren't for you and I because you and I live PGA Tour and live in professional golf on a day in and day out basis. That's to be consumed by people who are just kind of passing. I get it. I felt the same way about the Formula One series on Netflix. That it made it interesting to me. It suddenly turned it into something I want to watch. But in this particular case, I don't have very high expectations just because they had a lot of content. They had a lot of things they could have done that made season 2 special, and they didn't do it. I doubt if they're going to do it this time.
You know that meme where the guy's like pointing at the TV, like looking at that. That's me during Full Swing, like seeing all the things that I didn't necessarily agree with or didn't exactly go down. They just sort of fit into their cute narrative. I love it as well. I am, I guess, semi curious to see like a glimpse into Bryson DeChambeau's life. He should be figured prominently in this season. I'm interested in seeing finally the behind the scenes of Rory McIlroy's collapse at the U.S. Open. You and I chased him through the clubhouse. We chased him into the parking lot, but that's where sort of our story ended, at least until he resurfaced at the Scottish Open a couple weeks later. Any sort of access behind the scenes there, I think could be very interesting, but I do love it as well. All right, final topic for Love It or Love It, which is, again, my new favorite segment. Tiger versus Rory, Monday night in TGL. Do you love it? Or at this point in the TGL proceedings, do you love it?
I love it. And there was a lot of talk about the ratings were off for the third week of TGL. I think they were down 30% over the previous week, which included Tiger Woods for the first time. Look, they were very detailed. They were very structured in how they put that schedule together. They knew that there was going to be a level of interest for that first match. And so they didn't play Tiger or Rory in the first one. They tried a Tiger out for the second week, and that got a spike. Clearly, the third week did not deliver. So what you're trying to do is get these people, the people that you want to attract to this particular product, to hang on till that fourth week. Because then at that point, I think you've either established yourself as something that, yeah, I want to watch this on a Monday or Tuesday night or not. So I'll give them credit. I do love this.
I love it as well. And like, keep in mind, like, they're still getting 700,000, which is
Yeah.
it's nothing to scoff at. I mean, it's still ESPN on primetime. It's going to deliver. I love this as well. First time for Roy McIlroy's team. Tiger's team might be dreadful, but like at least they're leaning into Kevin Kisner, the social media post of like his highlighting his return coming out of the bunker skull. I like it. I do hope the technology works better than it did the first time around as well, with Tiger airmailing greens by about 30 yards.